Okay, everybody, it is me, Gregory Mannarino. Yeah, still me. This is my post-market wrap-up on this Thursday, May 27, 2021. Yeah, I got my notepad here. And there was a few things on here that we got to talk about. Let's start off with, well, the basics here, which is the market. Stocks, for the most part, finished higher. However, it was relatively flat. I mean, the Dow put on a gain, the S&P 500 put on a gain, not anything magnificent. NASDAQ finished flat. Same thing for everything else. Gold and silver about flat. Cryptocurrencies about flat. 10-year yield stable. The financial sector, although as a whole, put on a decent gain. And a lot of that, people, was because of crude oil. I told you this morning to watch crude oil. Crude oil made a nice turnaround, put on like a full percentage point. It's now about $67 a barrel, going to 70 and higher, like I have explained to you. The mechanism here is it's a joke, and you know how this whole thing works. But I mean, nothing today. It was relatively flat pretty much across the board, despite the fact, yet again, that we keep getting hit with round after round after round of terrible economic news. And, you know, that actually bled off to later in the day. And this is the stuff you're not supposed to know about. But I'm gonna share this with you. Let's talk about pending home sales. Now, I love when they do this. Pending home sales unexpectedly plunged last month, missing the mark by like a mile. But you see, everything is great and we're booming. You know that, right? Yeah, you're not supposed to know that pending home sales is falling off of a cliff, despite the fact, yet again, that their prices are surging, skyrocketing. It's completely out of control. And that falls right into what I want to share with you right here. So we got information on inflation, indicators. Inflation indicators. Now, today, they are every single one of them is flashing red. As a matter of fact, they are at a 20-year high. But remember, this is just temporary. It's just temporary what you're seeing right now. How about what you're seeing right now is about to get monumentally worse, and that falls into the next segment I want to talk about. So we heard from, you know what, maybe I'll be nice right now, but it's very difficult. Treasury Secretary, former Fed chairperson, she's not a woman, it's a thing, Janet Yellen. Now, this is what she said today. Whatever that thing is calling for vastly increasing government spending. Exactly. Vastly increasing government spending. Now, what she won't tell you, especially being that she is a former Federal Reserve chair thing, is we don't have the money. It's got to be created by the Federal Reserve. So if she gets her wish to vastly increase government spending, who's the government? It's the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve has got to create this cash miraculously, poof, just out of thin air. I told all of you a long time ago, years ago, that the Treasury and the Federal Reserve are tag teaming whatever's left of the United States of America to bring it to its knees. The nation and its citizens to its knees. And that's exactly what is happening here. You cannot possibly make this stuff up if you try to, people. But again, look, what else would you expect? Honestly, what else would you expect? It's astonishing to me, honestly, despite, again, the economic news across the board, which cannot possibly be worse. You got the mainstream narrative as everything is great. We're booming. No, we're not booming. What did we lose? Another 406,000 people to first-time unemployment claims this morning. Durable goods orders, unexpectedly, of course, crater. They were expecting a gain, but we got a loss. And now we find out all this. Pending home sales, unexpectedly, plunge 4.4% in April. It's historic, as a matter of fact. But housing prices continue to rise. Whatever happened to supply and demand? Let me explain this to you. Supply and demand forces, they don't work either anymore. When you have a central bank, okay, going back to the Fed, who's buying $40 billion per month of mortgage-backed securities, literally creating artificial demand, well, nothing makes sense anymore. When you have a central bank who really is the governing body of not just the United States, but of the entire world, you would expect to see exactly what we have today. So none of this at all should be a surprise to you. And, and it transcends that too. I've made a lot of calls over the last X amount of years, which have proven to be correct for the most part. Now, look, I am no smarter than you are or anybody else. I'm a guy who follows trends, who looks at what's happening and seeing where the trend is going and then jumping in on that. Okay, now, with regard to where we are going from an economic standpoint, from a market standpoint, from a Federal Reserve standpoint, it's very simple. It's very simple for us to know and predict what's going to happen down the line here when we have a central bank running it all, doing everything they possibly can now with the help of Janet Yellen, calling for vastly increasing spending, to become the lender and buyer of last resort, creating not just the United States as a slave nation, but the world as a slave earth to the central banks. The central banks, people, I've said this a million times, they are public enemy number one, bar none. They are the ones responsible for every single thing that you are seeing right now, everything. And they are in absolute, full, complete, 100% control. And their control, their stranglehold on the world is going to get a lot worse moving forward. We're way beyond the point of no return. Nothing can be done about it because we don't have representatives. Nobody, not the president, not the last president, not the president before that, not any member of Congress. It doesn't matter anymore. This is like a free-for-all, and it's literally every man and woman for themselves. You got to get yourself on the right spots. You got to disconnect yourself from the fakery, the propaganda, the distortions, the distractions, and get yourself on the right path. And that's really, again, what this is all about. Bringing things to your attention that you're not supposed to know. Directing your attention towards things that you're not supposed to look at so you can make a better decision for yourself as to what you should be doing here. And it's just very simple. And what I love most about this is I've outlined what you should be doing for years. I've never deviated from that strategy. Never once. And it works, and it will continue to work. Again, they're going to play their game. They're going to inflate, and then inflate some more. So we need to, again, be taking the opposite side of that trade while at the same time capitalizing on what they are doing. You understand? You can do nothing in this world, or you can act. I always tell you, act. And more importantly, even than that, is raise your awareness. Look around you. Understand what they're doing. The distractions, the manipulation, the rigging, all of it. It's so evident to me. Anyway, that's really where we are. Going back to the market, a nothing day. Everything was pretty much flat today. Everything. Cryptos, gold, silver, the markets, the 10-year yield. Crude oil did catch a nice bid here today. And crude mark my words here, people, it's going much higher. And if it happens to fall into some pressure, there will be a false flag event associated with it. And I know you get that. That just explains to you, it should show you how twisted this whole thing really, really is. All right, look, so with that said, important video, lots of important information here. Please, please, please share this video. Please give me a thumbs up down here somewhere if you like this video. I would really appreciate that. And I will see all of you in the morning. You know, we have a long weekend, by the way. Monday, the market's closed, which means I will not be doing a video Monday, but I will be on live with Alex Jones. So I hope all of you who follow Alex and follow me will catch that. I guarantee you it's going to be epic. All right, I'm out here. See you in the morning.